He was the man behind the voices that made millions laugh. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and countless more. But while Mel Blanc brought joy to the world, few knew the heartbreak and pain he endured when the microphone was off. What happened to the legendary man of 1,000 voices is one of Hollywood's most touching and tragic untold stories. Mel Blanc was a living miracle. For nearly 60 years, his voice shaped the very sound of American animation. From Bugs Bunny's quick wit to Daffy Duck's zany chaos and Porky Pig's endearing stutter. Blanc was the beating heart of the golden age of cartoons. But behind the laughter, his life was marked by devastating challenges that even his most loyal fans never realized. Born in 1908 in San Francisco, Mel showed a fascination with sound from a young age. By the time he was 10, he was already imitating animals, machinery, and accent skills that would one day make him an icon. But Mel's early years were anything but easy. He faced bullying in school for his odd obsession with voices and was told by teachers he'd never make a living being silly. They couldn't have been more wrong. After years of radio work, Mel's big break came when Warner Brothers hired him in the 1930s to voice their new cartoon characters. What followed was history. "What's up, Doc?" became one of the most recognizable lines in entertainment. Children laughed, adults smiled, and Mel's voice filled homes across the world. But behind his success was a man working tirelessly, often voicing up to 10 characters in a single session, switching between accents and tones in seconds. The workload was immense, and the pressure never let up. Then, in 1961, tragedy struck. While driving home one night, Mel was involved in a horrific head-on collision on Sunset Boulevard. The accident left him comatose for weeks, his body broken and his life hanging by a thread. Doctors feared he would never speak again, for the man whose entire existence revolved around his voice. It was a cruel twist of fate. But what happened next became the stuff of legend. One day, as doctors tried to reach him in his coma, a neurologist asked gently, "Mel, can you hear me?" There was silence. Then the doctor tried something else. "Bugs Bunny, can you hear me?" A faint voice responded, "What's up, Doc?" The room froze. The medical team couldn't believe it. Slowly, Mel began to come back, not as himself at first, but as his beloved cartoon characters. Over time, those voices helped bring him back to life. When asked later how he found the strength, Mel simply said, "Bugs helped me." Still, the road to recovery was long and painful. He spent months in a full-body cast recording episodes from his hospital bed, his microphone suspended over him as he lay immobile. Even when he could barely move, he refused to give up his craft. He'd say, "If I can make people laugh, then I'm still alive." But the physical pain was only part of his struggle. Behind the smiles and the voices, Mel carried the weight of exhaustion and the fear that his gift, his very identity, could be taken away at any moment. The man who brought endless joy to others was silently fighting his own battles with pain and limitation. Even so, he kept working for decades, voicing countless characters for Looney Tunes, the Flintstones, and the Jetsons. When fans met him, they always said the same thing: "You were my childhood, Mel." Ever humble, would smile and reply, "Mine too." When Mel Blanc passed away in 1989 at the age of 81, the world mourned the loss of not just a performer, but an entire generation of laughter. His tombstone reads, "That's all, folks," the iconic phrase that closed every Looney Tunes episode. Now, a bittersweet tribute to a man who never stopped giving until his final day. Those who knew him said, Mel never let fame harden him. Despite his fame and fortune, he remained the kind, funny, and generous man from Oregon who loved making people happy. Yet, the tragedy of Mel Blanc's story lies not in his death, but in the fact that the world never truly knew how much he suffered to keep them smiling. He once said, "I don't do voices, I live them." And maybe that's why his work will never fade, because each voice he created carried a piece of his soul. Mel Blanc's legacy isn't just about the characters he voiced. It's about perseverance, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of a man who turned pain into laughter. He made us laugh through his own tears. And that's why his story, as heartbreaking as it is, will never be forgotten.